What's up, fellas? My name is Tucker, and today is NBA Draft Day, which means the trade rumors are all over the place. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about 5 NBA trade rumors that have to be completely wrong. If you enjoy the video, leave a like rating on it. Check out my socials up there as well. Let's go ahead and get started. Okay, let's go ahead and get started with the first rumor, and it revolves around Ben Simmons. We've got some Ben Simmons stuff, some Shai Gilgeous-Alexander stuff, some Lakers stuff, some Hawks stuff, all that in this video. First is this idea that currently the Sixers are looking for a quote, James Harden type trade package in exchange for Ben Simmons. This includes reportedly what they asked for from San Antonio, which was a young player, 4 first-round picks, and multiple pick swaps as well. They might have asked for that. Those conversations might have been had. We'll talk about another proposed Ben Simmons trade between them and Toronto here in the next rumor. But there's no way that that's actually the expectation from Philadelphia. This feels like a very Daryl Morey thing to do, where he's done this before, where he makes it seem like whatever his price is just out of control, unattainable. There's no way you can ever get to it, so that hopefully you can meet somewhere in the middle. And if he starts, so high with his trade asking price, then wherever you eventually meet him at is going to end up being a good deal for him. This is exactly what he does. He's trying to build up the value ever since the season ended. The only thing Philadelphia has been trying to do is raise the value of Ben Simmons by saying they weren't going to trade him, by having a meeting with him and trying to get on the same page. And, obviously this most recent rumor about they're asking, Ben Simmons is not James Harden. Like, I think we're all on the same page that he does not have this level of value to any team in the entire league. And that's just not something that Philadelphia can expect to receive in exchange for Ben Simmons, especially when everybody knows that he's being shopped. Now, yes, you can talk about having a couple of teams compete against each other, potentially raise the price, but to go from we're having meetings, we're going to move forward with him to, okay, now we're going to trade him, and everybody's kind of on the same page that a trade is probably going to happen, there's just no way you can expect a James Harden-like trade package, which leads me to the next rumor, which is a trade that they reportedly asked for from Toronto that Toronto turned down. And that is Kyle Lowry, Fred VanVleet, OG Anunoby, and the 4th pick in the draft in exchange for Ben Simmons. That is what Philadelphia asked for. Again, it's very, very clear that this is all just positioning by Daryl Morey. There's no way that he actually has the expectation that anybody in the league is going to come even remotely close to that asking price in exchange for Ben Simmons. What you're looking for if you're Philly is you're looking for a player on the similar level as Ben Simmons as a player, an all-star caliber guy that fits better in your roster than Ben Simmons does. You're not going to get an all-star, a couple of young players and picks. It's just not going to happen. So the CJ McCollum deal that has been floating out there is an interesting one. If you want to package him and some other stuff together to get Beale or Lillard, that stuff is interesting. But you're not getting Kyle Lowry, VanVleet, OG Anunoby in the 4th pick. What's the point of Toronto making that? What's their team? It's going to be Ben Simmons, Pascal Siakam pick and rolls. Like, that's just, there's no point in Toronto doing anything after that if they're trading away what is the entirety of their team, including what's a pretty valuable draft pick in this class. I would believe that Toronto was listening to, the idea of trading Kyle Lowry and, signing and trading him and doing some other stuff. But there's just no scenario in which I can believe that anybody's even remotely close to listening to these types of deals from Philadelphia. And so what that tells me is that it's not impossible that we're going to see a trade on draft night for Ben Simmons, but I would personally be surprised because they have so far to go to come down to an asking price that I think most teams in the league would actually be willing to pay for Ben Simmons. And I'm hoping that by the time they do kind of meet in the middle on the asking price, Daryl Morey hasn't scared off the entire league with what he was initially asking for Ben Simmons. So ultimately, I was hopeful prior to hearing these rumors going into draft night that maybe Ben Simmons would be traded. But these rumors aren't, like, I can believe that they happened, but if you're a Philly fan, don't start thinking that these are the trade packages you're going to be getting for Ben Simmons, I guess is the point here. Next up, Oklahoma City. Apparently, reportedly, they're considering trading SGA, and it would take a ridiculous amount of value in exchange for SGA in order for them to actually trade him. Again, to me, this feels like a smokescreen. This feels like nothing. What would be the point, realistically? Just go through the exercise briefly for the sake of argument. What would be the point of trading Shai Gilgeous-Alexander if you're Oklahoma City? What are you going to get? Another 8 first-round picks? Another couple of young players? I understand kind of the mindset if you want to play the extreme long game here. You don't want to have to pay SGA in a couple of years and pay him what's going to be probably a max rookie extension. I get that. But all this stuff that you're doing, getting all these extra picks and trying to build young talent on the roster is to get players like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He's not going to be a top 10 player in the league or anything, but he's going to be a really, really good all-star level player for the entirety of his career. These are the kinds of guys you're trying to get, and you've already got one. So I can't believe that there was ever a scenario that Oklahoma City would actually trade Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I think it's pretty similar to like Detroit saying that they could possibly trade the first pick in the draft, where they're saying, hey, it's potentially available, only with the idea that maybe someone shows up, willing to give them 10 first-round picks and young players in exchange for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. There's just no way that I actually envision that scenario occurring. Oklahoma City is a team to watch on draft night with 3 first-round picks in this draft, including a high one, I believe, at number 6, and then all their future picks as well. But I would drop to the floor and be shocked if any trade that Oklahoma City makes involves Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. It feels fake, quite frankly, which kind of goes along with the title of the video. Next up, the Atlanta Hawks. There's some Cam Reddish trade buzz out here, and the reason I don't think this is a real thing is because if I'm Atlanta, what's the benefit of trading someone like Cam Reddish right now? He's still on a rookie deal for another 2 seasons. He barely played this most recent year, so his trade value isn't incredibly high. He had some moments in the playoffs once he finally got healthy, but that could have raised his value a bit, but not to the point of me thinking that I'm going to get a lot of value in exchange for Cam Reddish, unless he's part of a larger trade package in exchange for Bradley Beal or something like that, which I could see. I can't see a scenario in which they're individually shopping someone like Cam Reddish just for anything else, whether it be Marvin Bagley, whatever the case may be. It just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I feel like he is just one of many players in this Hawks roster that are kind of just a bonus, and they're there, and if they develop into really good players and they add them into the rotation, then awesome, but if not, that's okay too. Cam Reddish has always been this high upside guy that's the reason he was drafted where he was, and there's no reason to give up on that after what was a weird season for him, despite showing some flashes that maybe did raise his value. His value should be higher moving forward than it is right now, and ultimately that's the number one rule in trading, is trying to get the most value out of your players at the best possible time. And I just don't think that there's any way that the Hawks see this as top value right now for Cam Reddish. Last up, the Lakers. Seeing a lot of Russell Westbrook stuff, a lot, because we'll touch on the Bradley Beal stuff a little bit here. He has not officially requested a trade, but it's pretty clear that's the direction we're heading, and I think Washington is starting to become aware of that, and I wouldn't be surprised if pretty soon we do have Bradley Beal request a trade, which of course has the domino effect of what in the world is Washington supposed to do with Russell Westbrook. Again, I would be very, very surprised for a couple of different reasons. Hold on, my phone's going off. Okay, just kidding. The Pelicans traded a 53rd pick to Philadelphia. We're good. I would be very, very surprised for a couple of different reasons if Russ did end up in LA. One, logistically, it's nearly impossible financially. It's very difficult for them to cobble together contracts that equal $40 million in a trade package that Washington would actually pay attention to. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. It becomes more feasible, obviously, if Beal does get moved, because then, of course, Washington is in kind of a reset, rebuild mode. But more importantly, if I'm the Lakers, I would rather have Buddy Hield on this roster than I would Russell Westbrook. I understand the on-ball creation and the star power that Russell Westbrook provides to my roster, a legitimate big three alongside LeBron James and Anthony Davis, but those two guys have already shown that by themselves they're good enough to win a title. You can talk about the bubble, you can talk about whatever, but when fully healthy, those guys are good enough to win a title if you put a competent supporting cast around them, and I would rather have the shooting and the spacing of Buddy Hield, because that's what this roster really, really needs, rather than the on-ball creation of Russell Westbrook, which this roster does need. But then when you talk about how limited the spacing would be playing him, LeBron, AD, and a traditional big next to AD as they often do, that just doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. So I think ultimately this is just another one of those Lakers rumors that's popping up that there's just no way it's actually going to happen and it's actually going to be a real thing. And it's just, again, as the title states, just kind of fake rumors. So we got to do this on occasion where we have to break down things that are coming out, things are being said, things are being reported on that just can't be true. And all of these things to me feel very, very fake. They feel very much like smokescreens, which happens a lot as we go into the draft. And we'll find out tonight if a lot of the stuff about the first, second, third pick in the draft potentially being moved, if all that is a smokescreen. There's just a lot of positioning. The Daryl Morey stuff that we're seeing with Ben Simmons, that kind of stuff happens all the time, and it never happens more often than around NBA draft night. So I wanted to kind of go through and explain kind of where I'm at with a lot of these rumors that, in my opinion, are fake. They're wrong. They're just, they can't possibly be real. Now, it's the NBA. You never know. Shai could get traded tonight. Ben Simmons could get traded tonight. Russ could go to the Lakers tonight. Beal could get traded. You know, all these different things could absolutely happen. I could 100% be wrong. It's happened before. But to me, these feel very wrong. They feel very fake. And that is going to be the end of today's video. Enjoy the draft tonight. I will, of course, be coming out with a video tonight pretty soon after the draft. Would be a 2-video day for me, kind of late into the night here, East Coast time. And hopefully we have some fireworks and some super cool stuff to talk about. So stay tuned for that content. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like rating on it. Check out my socials, as I said. Once again, my name is Tucker. Hope you guys have an awesome rest of your day, and I will see you all next time.